This is the video that everybody always asks me about, mixing paint. Well, I'm going to wait for the internet to power up here. We don't have anybody watching yet, but as soon as we do, I will get started in mixing the paint. These are the materials that I'm going to use. This is only for the base coat and the clear coat because I'm going to use standard colors such as insignia blue, a metallic blue, a black, white for the trim colors. But we want to do the base and the clear coat and the inner coat because I'm going to do pearl inner coat. Okay, this is pretty simple. Just went to Walmart, got some new mason jars. Boy, I go through these things, but I will tell you this: it's easier to buy. It's cheaper to buy new than it is to clean them out. I mean, if you're like me and you got half a dozen jars that are caked on, they need thinner to clean up. It would take more thinner to clean these than just to buy 12 more. These are only $14 for 12 of these jars. So I use these mason jars. Now, because I'm going to do this slightly different, where I'm going to mix my base color, I want to keep track of exactly what's in the base. So we're going to weigh it. And I'll write it down. I'm going to mix up 1 full quart of the light blue. That doesn't mean I'm going to spray a full quart. That just means that I'm going to mix a full quart of the light blue. Power. Let's do grammages. This jar weighs 392. Of course, it much doesn't matter. I will tare it. 392 to start. 392. Now tare. So we're at 0. I don't really have a whole lot of white. I don't, when I say a whole quart, I'm going to mix 3/4 of a quart and then the rest thinner, or some of the blue. Hopefully we can get it in without spilling it everywhere. At least they're not completely full. I got half a gallon, so I can make a whole quart. Now this is not the sprayed, it's just the toner. So we'll go up to the 24. That's 656 grams of white. So let's write that down. White. 656 white. Okay. Now we want the blue. So we'll zero that out. 656 is zero that out. Always mix your dark color into your light color, never your light color into your dark. It'd take gallons to make light blue. Okay, so $38 grams of blue so far. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah. I might have went too much. No, we'll be all right. We'll be fine. The science project. Mwah! Let me shake it up. We'll shake it up. So 38 grams of blue. Yep, 38 grams of blue. $38 so far. 38 blue. I think that's going to do it. I think that's going to be just the right color. I don't know what happened to my top. Come on. Next is the clear. We're going to mix clear and the inner coat. I think that's oh yeah, that's a nice color. Let me switch camera view so you can see. That's a beautiful color. So we don't need this anymore. Okay. And we'll switch. Okay, here's the base color of this. Now we will not use all this paint. It's just not going to happen. Wish I could get the sides mixed up a little better. I need a spatula to scrape the sides. Maybe the stir stick once again. You guys like that color? I think it's beautiful. Beautiful. Remember, the name of this plane is Simply Blues. You can put some musical notes on it, and I got an idea for the logo for it. I'll have to play with my program. Shit. NASCAR Petty Blue, I suppose. But we got the formula written down. That's the most important part. 656 white, 38 blue. I thought about adding a little yellow to it, make it a little greener, but I think it's just fine. What do you guys think? Does it need to be a little greener? Yeah. This is a 50s color. Powder blue. I'm thinking about a little yellow though. Maybe 10 grams of yellow. Of course, if I do that and it turns way green, it'd be ridiculous. Okay, let's leave it as is. But this video here is the video I get asked most about. How do you mix paint? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay, so that is the first. That's the base coat. So I'll have approximately left over that much of it. It'll take that much to paint the airplane, or maybe less, depending. So now we have to mix the clear. Let me get rid of this. But at least in case I screw up, I have a formula to make more. So the white is done with. I don't need any more of this. We're going to mix up inner coat clear too. Let me get rid of these cans off the bench. Put them over here. I have some metallic blue. So now we have some sky blue. I have some insignia blue, and I have some royal blue. So those are pre-mixed colors. But now we want to do our clear. We won't need this. This is all by eye. Really simple, dimple stuff. And I'm ready to get some more paint, I guess. So it's about $80 a gallon. That thinner's $55 a gallon. Okay, this is the Randolph number A1690. Not, hey, John. What color blue is that? Light blue. Done with insignia. Okay. To mix the clear, we're going to fill this puppy up all the way. Looks like this is the last airplane I'm going to get out of this gallon. That's enough for the inner coat clear right there. Okay, then we take another mason jar. Yes, I mixed 656 grams of white with 38 grams of blue. So now we take another mason jar and we split it. And I actually don't have a half a quart here. I got to add a little bit to this one. I may not have enough for inner coat. Yeah, I guess I can. That's close enough. Okay. So now you take 9703 butyrate thinner and you fill this up. We can retard as necessary. I have a gallon of retarder. This is top coat. And we'll mark it as top coat. 50. And my pen is drying up because I lost the top. There's the top. 50. 50. Top coat. T-O-P. Okay, our top coat's done. Let's set that aside. Now, for the base coat. And fill this bad boy up. Okay, I would suggest you can use it just like that, but I suggest that you take your base coat and we're going to add enough to tint that blue. Now this is your base coat. By the time you get ready to paint the airplane, it'll take so little of this, it'll already be this color here. Base coat, 50, 50, base. Okay, now we're going to do our inner coat clear. So these are done. After this airplane gets all painted, I'm going to take this. This will be about enough for one coat left in that gallon there. Not even. May have to see if I can get some more. That'll be good. I am out of clear. All right, let's measure up the pearl and see what it looks like. I don't want super heavy pearl, so now when they mix paint at the paint store, they do this exact same way. Get with a scale. It's not a big deal. Oh, I gotta put this on here. Okay, that's a 0. Let's put a gram in and see how much that is. Oh, that's too much. That's 6 grams. Still 6 grams. Now it says 8 grams. What's the deal here? 6 grams. Harbor Freight scale ain't very accurate. Yeah, I would say it's probably a tablespoon. I'm going to be okay. Cool. All right, let's add half of this. I'll shake it up and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's plenty. So there's about 3 grams in there. It don't take much. So we need to mix up enough of this for one coat. This is the inner coat, and this goes on before the top coat. Don't matter how much thinner you put in this, because it just don't. We'll mix it pretty thin. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll give me a sparkly. You probably can't see it on camera, but that should add a nice effect. In this case, less is more. It's like my Monado. It has a subtle gold flake in it. It's subtle. I mean, so in this, I'll do a test before I shoot my airplane, but spray a test panel with blue. I'll use all the colors on a test panel and then spray it with this inner coat. Newsflash, do not mix pearl paint with toned paint. It comes out like mud. All right, so I didn't go through as much thinner as I thought. So now the other colors, I'll mix as I need them. This is top coat. Top coat. And that's basically it. I mean, there ain't a whole lot to mix and paint. You saw how I can make any color you want. I got a color chart over there, color wheel. I'll show you. You can print it off the internet. I mean, it takes a little experience, but so this wheel here tells you exactly what colors are opposing. So if you got yellow, purple's across from that. If you got green, then red is across from that. Light blue, and then a lighter red, then orange and blue, and the super orange and the dark blue. I mean, green and purple. So it's either green. Actually, it's green, yellow. Can be opposite magenta or purple. But if you need to know how to mix paint, you can go on the internet and it'll tell you yellow and green make blue, you know. Or blue and yellow make green. That, you know, that's what I mean. And red and yellow make orange. Just, it's real simple. But there are primary colors. You can't make yellow. You have to have yellow as a primary color. I can't remember all the primary colors off the top of my head. But you can make all the secondary colors. If you want white to cover just a little better than it does, you can add a few drops of black to it. And you say, well, black, that'll make it gray. Not exactly. It just makes it cover better. We might have to add a little more to that. I mean, that looks pretty good. It's got that abalone pearl in it. And it didn't take much, probably 2 grams. So if you got some of this stuff, dip spade 25 grams of dip spade pearl essence. This is a blue pearl, so just enough to give it that pearl effect. Okay, so I guess I can put all this away, get the airplane, and start laying some clear on it. We'll do a coat of clear on it, a coat of base, which is not really clear, it's blue. Yellow red makes blue. No. Yellow red makes orange. Let's see, I think blue's a primary color. Let me check here. What are the primary colors? I'll tell you what it is. Come on, get up here. What are primary colors? Yeah, yellow, red, and blue are the primary colors. You can make all the other colors out of yellow, red, and blue. But if you mix yellow and blue, you get green. If you mix blue and orange, you get purple. If you mix yellow, orange, and blue, you get mud. And yellow and red, you get orange. So it's pretty simple to just pull up a chart on the net and get what you want. Now, I was going to add a little bit of yellow to this, and I got a light green out of it. It had a tint of green in it. But it'll have a green canopy, so we don't want to do that. Them green canopies are my homage to Bob Brookins. Yeah, it's over there. Because that was a $50 quart of paint. And actually, today's prices, that's relatively cheap. So let me get this off the bench, and we'll get the airplane over here, and we'll start painting. Inner coat, base coat, or top coat. And that's all the paint you get. You're done painting when you're out of this paint. Go for it, painting. All right. So when you're out of this paint, you're done painting. You can't have no more. Let me get rid of this. It'll be a mess. Dump that over. So we're going to start doping on this airframe. And all I use is Randolph products. I don't. If you go to Wix Aircraft and use the code STUNT10, you can get 10% off all their dope products, or they even have urethanes or poly, whatever you want. If you got a real aircraft, you can buy avionics or whatever, you're going to get a discount with the code STUNT10. Okay. So it gets 3 coats of this on the wood. zoom up a little bit. Go for it, painting. What do you paint? I didn't realize I had a painting following, but that's good. We paint airplanes here. So I used to use, I'll show you the couple of brushes that I did use. There's my other one. There it is. Now, some people are going to call me crazy, but this is a brush from Shaper's Hobby, $3.69. It works and it works okay, but it leaves brush marks in it. I started using my sign painter, $25 I think it's a lip liner, whatever hell it is. Sign painter's brush. This is these are fake hair. These are real hair. This thing leaves no brush strokes, so I'm going to use this one. So this is the butchery of this. It's just slathered on 3 coats. It looks like you got. I'm just going to stop there because I got a fiberglass the nose. But you can't. It, it's not blue and it's not clear. It's just kind of. But by the time I get ready to spray, the whole airplane will be blue, light blue. It just tints the wood, and then when you put the tissue on it, it tints it some more. Oh, thank you. I got 21 days building this. If you go to my channel and look for the VIPER video, I got an orange one. I can show you. An orange one that I built from start to finish in 38 days. I ought to be over on Little History's channel. I think he invited me. I should be over there. Remember, this is all the paint you get. You don't get no more. If you use more, you'll end up with a heavy airplane. This is the heaviest part next to the engine of the whole plane, the dope. This will add 6 ounces to the airplane. So my job is to not add as much weight as possible. So we're going to try to not use all this. Do a good job sanding. It's probably take me an hour to get all this put on here. One coat, maybe longer. Whatever it takes is what it takes. Here's another thing. Don't skimp on putting it on the ribs. Much as it's a pain in the ass. I got to get my striping brush and just stripe on top of it. That'll come later. They're just slathering it on. This part of the build here is pretty crude. Don't really care how it looks because you're not going to see any brush strokes or anything like that. But I do like using the sign painter's brush for this instead of that cheap hobby shop brush. It makes a big difference. Leaves no brush strokes. Boy, you better clean this damn thing out. It's way too expensive to screw up. This one was jammed underneath the drawer in my sign box. I mean, I tell you, the shop eats stuff here. It ain't just the shop, it's everything. I know I went over that already, but we'll get it again. We'll get her again. You can already see a blue hue on it. I mean, I can see it. I don't know if you can see it on video, but I can see it. Don't forget to paint inside the trailing edge because remember we got it sanded out. You notice I haven't put any superfill on this. Superfill goes on after the tissue. You got to get this wood hard before you start superfilling. So this airplane started out 24 ounces. We're looking for it to end up 30 ounces. Finished, ready to go. I bet I don't make it, but we're going to try. Let me show you. Let me see if we can get a better view on exactly what's going on there. Let me zoom in. Okay, there we are. Can you see the light blue line right there? That's the paint line. And you don't think, well, what is that going to do? Well, by the time I'm done, when I put 3 coats of this and then put the tissue on and 3 coats more on top of that, this thing will be light blue. And that way it only takes 1 coat of top coat, maybe 2, to get your base on. Then you can do your trim, which I do with an airbrush. It doesn't add hardly shit for weight. Must be hard right there. Zoom back out. Doesn't add anything for weight, so that's what keeps all the weight down, by not piling on the dope. So this video is about paint mixing, and you guys have seen me finish airplanes dozens of times. I'm hoping that I've given a better in-depth tutorial on how to mix paint dope. I'll let this dry and sand it with 400 and then do it all again 3 times. If you're not a member of my channel, please like and subscribe. I do a lot of weird stuff here. Paint, sign paint, review products. Oh, I see a booger I'm going to have to sand right there. Too late now. I'm not any bad Chad. I don't have a cameraman or Jolene or whatever, but we make it work. Okay, I see this nick right there I'm going to have to fix too. But I'll tell you this, I know damn well he was following me when he tried to pull that. Same time I pulled canopies for my Tucker, he tried to pull a windshield on his car with his barbecue. decent concept, bad execution. He could have made it work. That's the same thing that happened with them engineers at Grumman. They built the Horton 229. You can find that on YouTube. The building of the Horton 229, which was the first stealth airplane. Germany designed this airplane that was made out of plywood. Well, they wanted to put it up on a pedestal and shoot radar at it to see if it was stealthy. So they built a model of it, complete with, I mean, they full size model, not a small model like this. And the engineers decided they'd pull a canopy. Go watch that circus. They had no clue what they were doing. So engineers ain't always got it right. Engineers design it, mechanics make it work. You don't need computerized programs to do any type of high dollar craftsmanship. You just have to have a brain and some skilled hands, you know. Look at the artistry of the Swiss watchmakers. Amazing. Or the guys who build little steam engines. Joe Pye, check him out on YouTube. Joe Pie. He builds little miniature machines. And he does everything. I mean, makes all of shit. That's really cool. So we're at 24 ounces. We're going to add a coat of dope. Hopefully it doesn't come up to 25. I don't think it will. I think it'll be 24 and a half, somewhere in there. No paper on it, so. When I get this done, I'll fiberglass the nose. I was going to fiberglass the nose before I did this, but I decided, well, as long as we're doing a paint mixing seminar, I'll go ahead and. Oh, John, did you get your liner yet? I haven't checked the tracking. I think them guys will get their shit together. I hope I don't have to go down there and raise hell. You guys don't understand how hard them liners are to come by. John's probably already flown the coop. Okay, where are we at for time? Almost an hour in. Almost an hour. So any of the black that I want to be black, we're not going to do inner coat on it. We got Go For It Painting. I wonder what kind of shit he paints. Probably cars, motorcycles. Just shows you if you got a scale, you can mix your own paint. No big deal. This stuff's drying quick. Let's go up with this so you can see a little better. Not going to paint up here because it gets fiberglass. Really smooth. Really good. Really good job. Yeah. We might dust some white on it before I spray the blue on it, depending on what it looks like. Back with me. All right, Gary, great. You want to see how to mix paint? Go to the beginning of the video. I made this blue. I did the clears. I did the inner coat clear. I think pearl powder blue is going to be so cool. Then I'll put the gold leaf on there. Boy, oh boy, it'll be a big deal. You know, even though I did the gold leaf the wrong way on my Monado, that thing's got like 10 times the views my other videos got. I got some hate mail on it, but because it's not done the sign painter's way, but it worked, so worked well enough to win the trophy. That's all that counts. Gonna have to be variegated on this again because you can't push on the open bays here with my turning tool. But I think I'm gonna do some drop shadow leaf letters. This one's gonna be real creative, I can tell you that right now. I've painted a lot of airplanes that look like airplanes. Now I'm gonna paint an airplane that looks like a motorcycle. Pinstripes, gold leaf, multicolored. pearls, metallics. Might do some reverse stuff on this too, so we got them crisp lines. Pick up some silver. The only thing I hate about painting silver is that the adhesion is just so much, it's shit. You want problems, paint silver. You watch Wendy videos, and you'll see Wendy's painted every one of his airplanes silver. And Gacabone and all them guys got nothing but paint pull-ups and problems. That's because silver is aluminum, and it doesn't stick to wood. I'm a little concerned about that inner coat clear even. We'll have to have all the artwork done and everything before I spray that on, because I don't want to be taping on nothing. Okay, put that shit on. Because blue fine line tape is very unforgiving. On a car where it's got mechanical bond, not a big deal. But on an airplane where I'm trying not to put as much paint on as I want the least amount of paint on as I can get, because we're looking for weight, it don't like it. It don't like it at all. That's why you better take the stick-on off on your shirt before you stick it down. Been on an hour and 3 minutes. So I gotta let it dry for a couple minutes, and then I'll turn it over and do the bottom. Remember, no matter how much you dislike it, the bottom has to be done exactly the same as the top, or you'll cause a warp. It pulls weird. You would think, when this is covered, you would think that if I paint an extra coat on the top, that it would warp up, but it doesn't. It warps down. It causes all the wood to relax, and the other coat pulls. So if you want to get a warp out of it, you want to paint on the other side of the warp, and that'll let it relax and go back to where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm going to have to call Scott Monday. Get some more dope. Feel naked. I got no dope. Out of clear. Probably good enough. Can you guys see the blue hue that it puts on it? And if it was mixed with white, it would be a white hue. Probably could have done it in white. Figured we'd do it in blue. So basically what's happening, just staining the wood so it less paint to cover it. Now to take them doors off so don't glue them shut. Let me take all the doors off. You don't think dope's a glue? Paint over them doors one time and see what happens. Be locked up tighter than Dick's hat band. Shit, it might already be locked up. What's up with that? What's up with that? That would be a disaster. Come on. Yeah. Yep, it's already locked up. Shit. Hopefully we can get it out of there without damage. Nope. There it is. There it is. What makes sense, Nelson? I'm giving away all my secrets. Oop. I'll show you another little secret I did. I've done this before, but I didn't do it on the last one. For you guys who put in these wingtip weight boxes, you know that the screw never wants to capture inside the wingtip weight box. If you look right down in there, there's the end of a dowel, and it has a funnel on it to catch that screw and direct it right into the blind nut. It's epoxied in there. So when you're putting it in there, you ain't got to fiddle fart around too forward. It goes right in without any problem. I put all the secret shit on this airplane. I've got to clean up this right there. A lot to do yet. A lot to do. Here's a month's work to do a nice finish on it. Most of that is my favorite thing, sanding. I went down to the body shop and said, you know, this is a while back. You guys need a sander? Everybody hates sanding. I love sanding. Nah, we don't need, okay. I go down and apply again. But right now, business is bad. Let's go, Brendan. Of course, I don't think this is going to get real bad here in the next year. Real bad. Ain't looking good. So we're 4 in. So the next video will be fiberglass. It'll be fiberglass in the nose and the cowl. And I won't be putting another coat of dope on this until tomorrow because I want to let this dry. Sand it all with 400. Normally I power through it, you know, really 2-3 coats a day or whatever, but I'm gonna try to finish this one super light. So we're gonna wait a day between coats. That was except, you know, this stuff here, the new formula of Wicks or Randolph paint really dries and powders within hours. I don't know what they've done to it. I think they've added some xylene to it. I tell you, I had some black paint. I got a quart of black that'll last me the rest of my life, but I had some black paint that was 50 years old. And you can ask John, it smelled like nothing of what dope smells like today. Didn't smell like Aerogloss, didn't smell like, it didn't certified, it didn't smell like any of this stuff. And I don't know what was in it. We used it all. But man, was it good. It was good. I had a gallon of regular butyrate that was 50 years old too. So just because the dope's old doesn't mean anything. Unless it's Brodak. If it's old, it'll be hard, so you won't be able to use it. Now, certified coatings the maker of Randolph, the maker of Certified, the maker of Acme, the maker of SIG. There's only one dope maker in the country, and they're in California, and I don't have any idea how they get away with that. I guess they're just grandfathered in, and it is a small niche industry, seeing as that, you know, modeling is like 0.0000009% of their business. The rest of it's aerospace or real aircraft. So they probably got some type of clause that, because it tells you right on there for professional use only. Doesn't mean anything. You know, there's a whole lot of us, a whole lot of people out there have no clue what they're doing. But they get away with it, and I don't think it's going to go away. You know, like everything else has. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty thriving business. Even the dope that comes from aircraft spruce, which is Randolph, comes from certified coatings. I get mine at Wix, and if you use the code STUNT10, you get 10% off. STUNT 10. You can do it on the website, or you can walk into the store. Doesn't matter what you buy. The code STUNT10 gives you 10%. Now, it's not much, but at least pay the taxes. Okay, we got one. We got one coat on there. Yeah, this doesn't really add any weight, Nelson, because it's clear. It's tinted clear. Not like you're painting pigment, you know, it's just tinted. And this will yield the lightest finish. You know, I used to not even tint the clear. But, you know, I was with John, and he said, well, let's tint the clear. And so we started tinting it, and that shaves a little more weight off because you got to use less paint at the end. Yeah, it helps. If I was going to paint it red, I'd have red tint in it, you know. If I was going to paint it yellow, I'd have white tint in it because yellow don't go over shit. It don't cover with a damn. Again, I just use your common sense, you know. What do you think? And I will guarantee that if when you come back and look at this airplane, by the time I get the third coat of paint on this, after the covering, so it'll be 6 coats of this brushed paint, just before I start spraying, it'll be light blue. It'll be like shit. It'll be, what does it need paint for? Well, it needs the paint just to give it some shine. Okay, let's do the other side. I guess it'll be 2 hours per coat. Got an hour. It'll take another half hour to do this last half here. And the nice thing about this is, painting it this color, it won't take shit to blend the fillets because the super fill's this color. Kind of like when I did the VIPER 8 that it's on the Wendy video. He loved it. And I thought it looked like shit, but he loved it. That airplane was primer gray with clear over it, but it weighed 48 ounces with a PA-65 on the pipe. I had good wood back then, good wood. You know, I went over to Ted's house. Ted's a friend of mine. Been trying to call him. All I get's his fax machine. I hope he's okay. And he said, I got some really good wood. Okay, well, I mean, I gave more for it than he wanted. He didn't have really good wood, but he had some decent wood. It was 5-pound stuff. I consider really good wood 3.5-pound wood. I got that letter from National Balsa, about 10 sheets of 16th, hand selected, guaranteed under 4.99 pounds. $11 a sheet. $11 a sheet. These people are ridiculous. I mean, it's not going to happen. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Seeing as that I paid $1 something a sheet for them just a few years ago. I realize inflation, but you don't have to make your money off of one guy. I think I'll make another Balsa USA order because I only lost 30% of that. So that's about right. So I'd have to say, after my phone call with him, Balsa USA is okay, you know. Guys ask me, where can you get good wood? Well, you can't. It's just not available. Back in the day, we used to go around from hobby shop to hobby shop and pick out one to get by one piece of wood. And you'd go here and pick one stick in there, one stick. It'd take forever to get enough to build an airplane. Then Riley Wooten came out with some good stuff. We could call Riley and get great wood. I'd say, Riley, send me 20 pieces of 3/8, 5-pound or less. I'd get them. It was great. So we're going to think of some way to build with paper bags or some alternative material. The problem is nothing's as strong as balsa, pound for pound. It's as strong as steel. If I had to have balsa or carbon fiber, I'd choose balsa. 10 times a day, 20 times on Sunday. Much better material. Lighter. We're not building these to crash, we're building them to fly. So you don't need to build them so when you hit the ground, like guy was saying the other day, my wings came off because there was no spar in the middle when I hit the ground. Hey, don't hit the ground. Not made to crash. The question that he had is, why is there no spar in the middle of a foam wing? Well, the only time there's a spar in the middle of a foam wing is if you have wing-mounted landing gear. The way a foam wing is triple cored, sheeted and glued together, the foam inside acts as its spar. It's a monocoque type situation. And the way I cover them with double and triple layers over the center section, they'll never come apart. What you got to do is not sand the piss out of them to lighten the sheeting up so much that, you know, you got a 32nd of sheeting instead of a 16th. You won't have to worry about the wing folding, but when you hit the ground and it wads up and you breaks right in the center, well, there's a good solution for that. Don't hit the ground. You know, even when I was a kid, I flew over pavement. I got, you know, so many people are apprehensive to fly over pavement. I hate flying on grass, to be honest with you. It tears your shit up. My last crash was in Huntersville, and that was because of a mechanical failure. My fault. So we don't call them accidents, we call them mishaps, because you got to learn from it. Just like the Navy, it's not an accident, it's a mishap. Make note of it and don't do it again. Like when I tore the ligaments in my knee. I called my dad, I said, man, Dad, my knee sounded like a zipper coming undone, and it really burns when I bend over and kneel down. I said, what should I do? He said, don't kneel down. So I didn't kneel down, and it's healed. I know I tore the ligaments in my knee. I could hear them tear. Just sound just like a zipper. So for about 6 months, I just didn't kneel down on that knee. It's all fixed. Human body's amazing. I do this 3 damn times. And then I can put the covering on and do it 3 more times. We'll be adding thinner to this here. I got enough thinner for this airplane anyway. Got 2 gallon and a half. You're painting an airplane to do a nice custom job. You can look at about $300 worth of material. That includes the sandpaper and the reducer or thinner, the retarder, the paint, the tissue. Tissue is $15 a sheet. I think Brodak tissue is what, $7 for 2, so it's $3.50 a sheet for the Brodak tissue. Takes 2 packs of that. An airplane. And if you say, no, it doesn't, it takes 1. Yeah, okay, just tell me how you're going to finish the fuselage with that. 1 for the wings, 1 for the fuselage. We're going to use this K&S silk span on this stuff. The old school stuff. Stuff from, got to be at least 20 years old. Be at least 25 years old. Let's see what difference that makes. All right, we got a coat of dope on this thing. The quality is horrendous. It's not lower, it's terrible. Quality of balsa wood is shit. It's not the company's fault though, it's the manufacturers. And you know what? They're not, it's not being used in windmills. It might have been at first. Everybody said, it's the windmills. No, that ain't it. I've been researching what's going on. It ain't the windmills. The thing is the old growth. I mean, we burn up all the old growth is what's happened. Yeah, if you want a nice brushed paint job, buy yourself a sign painter's brush. Much better than that other brush, the $3 brush. Okay, well, I can't do that. I'll do them at another time. We'll clean this mess up. I need to get some of my shit thinner out in a jar and get some brush cleaning solution going. Because we ain't letting that brush get bad. I went back for this, I told you the story about going to Lowe's, and on the sale chart, they sold this clean strip green lacquer thinner. I figured, well, they had 3 gallon there. It was $9 a gallon. I figured, well, I'll get 1 gallon. You can't go wrong buying 1 gallon. If it doesn't work, throw it out. And guess what? It works just fine. I should have bought all 3. And when I went back, it was gone. It was gone, so we're stuck. Okay. Where's a big bottle of brush? Must have put it back there. So I got a little bottle over here in my sign box. I bought a lifetime supply of this oil. You can use motor oil on your brushes, but it's kind of like Al Rabe, Oh, I got an Al Rabe video coming out. I got his landing gear video. It's all edited up, the first part of it, and we'll premiere it, and I'll watch it with you and answer any questions on the chat. Got to keep Al alive. He was a character, that guy. He was a character. His snaggletooth was over 100 ounces. Okay, whatever. This is a hell of a brush here. I mean, it'll paint a 1-inch line on the sign. Perfect. Perfect. I'm not using my quills on it, on this airplane, but I'll use the chisels on it. I need to figure out how to get the rest of the paint off of this thing. these brushes are designed for enamels, not lacquers, but didn't seem to hurt this, so. You take care of these brushes, they'll last a lifetime. Whose lifetime? The brush's lifetime or my lifetime? My lifetime. All right, next video will be fiberglass. And then it won't be till tomorrow that I'm adding more dope to this. I got this one cleaned up. I'll use the other brush on the elevator stabilizers. Elevators and flaps. All right, you guys got any questions on paint mixing? I mean, I basically showed you how easy it is. But if I want to mix this blue again, pretty simple. All I got to do is match those numbers that I have on the lid, which I think it was 656 and 38, and then mix it up, and it'll be the same color. But I did mix enough that I should have half of that left over. Because just because you got it doesn't mean you got to use it. See, I'll guarantee that this thing is dry enough to sand already. I can hear it. It's dry enough to start sanding. But we'll wait. We'll wait until 7, 8 o'clock and I'll sand it all up. But I won't get another coat till tomorrow. We will do, if you guys want, I'll come back later on this evening. And when I glass this nose, it's pretty mundane, simple crap. I mean, to me, it's kind of, I feel like I'm insulting you guys when I show you how to do this easy stuff. It's just so damn easy. But I do have 60 years doing this. Hard to believe, 60 years. It'll be 70 years pretty shortly. Shit. Anybody out there? Am I putting you guys to sleep? Oh yeah, this will stand out super nice. It was super nice before. You know, I sanded all this with 400, the whole airplane with 400 before I put any dope on it. So we'll sand it again with 400. I might drop the 600 when I do the paint, when I get the paper on it. The nice thing about that medium silk span is I got more sanding room. The lightweight stuff you can hardly sand because you got to have so much dope on it. So give that a try. And I really want to experience the difference of 25-year-old covering as opposed to the new tea bag covering. John Suklak. No, they were white. See, that's where I think I gained some extra weight on the last paint job because let me get it. Let me get that airplane. I'll show you. Okay, these two airplanes that the last airplane and this one are the same airplane. Exactly the same. Get this crap off here. I don't want to put any dents in the damn thing. Where I screwed up some on the finish on this, boy, it's got a lot of dust on it. Where I screwed up on some of the finish on this is that I first mixed, look at all that red paint from painting that red airplane. But it don't matter. Doesn't stick. I painted this whole airplane with the tinted white, 3 coats, then put the tissue on with the tinted white, 3 coats. Then I painted it white, 2 coats. Then I painted it orange, whatever it took to get this color, 2 coats, I think. So look at all that red. But that's a nice thing about dope. It doesn't stick. It just acts like dust. If I got it on here, just think what my lungs look like when I was painting that. So that's why I picked up the extra weight. This finish was about 8 ounces. And I should have wised up like I did with a high roller and go, well, we're getting close. We should change the paint scheme. But I really wanted to paint it like this. So that's the idea behind the Simply Blues, is we're not going to cover a huge area like this in blue, in dark blue. And dark blue covers a whole lot better than orange. I'm gonna have to put a tarp over them airplanes when I'm painting. There is some shit on there. Let me get another rag. So this airplane has 2 or 3 extra coats of color on it. But it still came out 52 ounces. And I'm hoping that I can make the next one sub 50. Sub 50. dust all over that one, the red, white, blue one back there too. That's what happens when you paint in there. You got no place else to paint. So, but I painted enough that I know that it don't hurt nothing. Just makes dust quite really. If I go down and change out my filter, I'll do that. Next time I change out the filter, I'll bring the filter up and show it for the air conditioner. I'll bring up and show you what the air conditioning filter looks like. Look at all that red on there. Oh, you can't see it over there. It's right there. Switch cameras here. Look at that red on there. That's from painting that red airplane for that guy. So I'm gonna have to wipe down all my airplanes that are stacked in the corner over there. That 6B Submarine's probably got a bunch of paint down. I have to use thinner to get it off. But this is a nice airplane. Flies good. I had a trimming problem. Had to warp the flap. Somehow I fell asleep and got the flap warped out. I think I got that fixed. Twisted back with some steam. Let's zoom out. Zoom out. But this airplane and the one that I was just working on are the same genre, same design. And the plans will be available as soon as Steve gets them done. And there's a playlist on my YouTube channel, VIPER Full Build. Now, for some reason, it looks like the shuffle was mixed up. But if you go up to sort, when you pull up the playlist, put sort, go oldest to newest, it'll put them all in chronological order so you can watch them down. So there's 76, there's 150 hours or more of video on building this airplane. Then you combine that with this new one from 20 days ago. I'll put another playlist up on the new one. I went in depth a little more on some different things on this one. So between the two playlists, you should be able to figure out how to build this. And if not, there's always the forum, and you can send me a message, or you can even call me. It doesn't much matter. I'll be more than happy to help you through some of the problems that you may occur. But to me, that's the fun part about building, is getting through the major issues. You know, oh shit, this happened. How do I fix that? Oh, well, you just do this. Or, oh crap, what do I do now? Well, I've made all the mistakes in my life with these things. I know exactly what to do. You know, if you glue something in wrong, what should I get debonder? You know, just trust me, you're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. And just go, well, shit, it's only wood, cut it off, do it again. Just try to make it as perfect as you can. This is a nice airplane here. I'm glad that wind struck my interest in building these airplanes again. I basically gave up because I couldn't get the spar wood. And after I saw it in the book, you know, it's in that stunt history book. I said, I got to build some more of these. They were great then, and they're great now. Anybody that tells you that it don't matter how much it weighs is never. You know, you can build an airplane too light. Yeah, you might be able to. I just haven't seen one. Nobody's been able to do it yet. I guess at 10 ounces, maybe it'd be too light. With what I'm doing, 50 ounces is perfect. Super Tiger 60. The Brian Gardner ABC liner. I can't remember if this one has a head on it or not. No, stock head. Casminato carbon fiber fuel tank. I'm gonna make. I have Wendy's tank molds. I'm gonna make some fiberglass tanks here on the program to show you how to do that. You don't need a Wendy tank mold. You could make it out of a 2x4, the mold. But it's nice to have Wendy's molds. Got to thank Len for that. What have we got to do? This airplane needs to be rubbed out anyway, so we'll get all the overspray off of it. We haven't even begun to work on the rub out on this one. Got a little touch up to do right there where I screwed up. Not too much left on it now. Got to get that push rod exit in that. Somehow that got screwed up. That's the nice thing about dope. It's nothing to fix. I mean, it's just, you don't have to do any kind of weird shit. You just sand it and paint it. Finish on this is, it's an 18, 17 or 18. Next one we're going to make better, 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 better. Always better. Always better. Let's see, did we get any subscribers on this new video we did here? Let me look at the I wish our metrics would. Oh, I need to go into Studio. That's what I need to do. Studio. We got no super chats. Auto ads is off. We got 15 likes with 15 concurrent viewers. That's not bad. But we could use some more. Did we pick up any new subscribers? Chat revenue, 0. 0 new subscribers. Well, I'm going to get off of here. I'll be back when I get ready to fiberglass the nose of the other airplane. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you later. Fair winds, tight lines, all that good stuff. See ya.